Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Katherine.Kelly. And as you know, my book, Anxiety Treating Body, Mind, and Soul, is coming out in just a few weeks. And I want to give you a little more information about what is in the book. Now, I'm going to show you the cover again. This is the cover of the book. In fact, I should be receiving my proof copy today so I can really look through it and approve it and make sure everything's kind of set well. So I'm excited about that. And that's always an exciting day because it makes it more real that this stuff is happening. But today I want to talk a little bit about how to know if soul wounds are causing or contributing to your anxiety. Now, a lot of people don't even think about soul wounds as being part of the equation when it comes to anxiety because we think about a tragic event in this lifetime. We think about just, modeling. We have parents that may have been worriers or kind of created an anxious environment for us. We have lots of different things in this lifetime that anxiety can very well contribute to. But when you dig through those things and you heal those things and you realize, wow, there's something else there, or maybe you don't even know to dig through it and know that there's something else there. It's just really important to kind of think about the broad picture of who we are as a soul, because as a soul, we do travel through each lifetime, accumulating wounds, accumulating kind of the energy of what we've experienced throughout those lifetimes. And sometimes it is from past life situations that we actually manifest mental health concerns in this lifetime. And I've explained that a lot to people lately. And you know what? I want to go through this whole idea of what is whole soul care or whole person care, because if we are only treating the mind or the body aspects, we are missing out on a huge component of who we are as an individual. And so that's why it's so important for us to think about, wow, okay, could our soul wounds be contributing to anxiety? Now, I'm going to show you the whole soul model that is coming out as part of this book. You know, it is an extension of um, my soul health model, which is the top of this tree. And for those of you who aren't familiar, the soul health model, I've used it for about 18 years. It's basically the model of this tree, but without these little symbols. And I'm going to explain this model in just a second. But there are 10 branches of the human condition that everybody in human life kind of has to balance and figure out in order to feel more aligned or feel more balanced in general. And that model, the soul health model, helps you understand how our soul influences our human condition and how our brokenness or our balance of our human condition also help us feel whole or not so whole at a soul level. So that model, you know, I've used it for 18 years, but then this book really helped me see that I needed to add some layers to that for people to understand how the soul's influence may be impacting our experience of the human condition. So the whole soul model adds basically the root system here. And all of these different symbols correspond with things that are contributing or may contribute to how you experience anxiety, how you experience depression, how you experience relationships, anything that might be contributing to that make you who you are. It's just important to start to understand some of this. So, for instance, in fact, I've had 3 clients this morning that I've explained this to, 3 therapy clients, that, you know, many of them know that there were wounds that they've had. They don't know how they got there. One person today was talking about how she knows that there is a 22-year-old part of her that shows these aspects of, worry and what I would call hypervigilance, that basically you're scouting the horizon for everything possible to make sure that things are in order. But really, do we have to do that? And in this case, how did that get created for this client? And so, I talked to her about life lessons and talked to her about how if there wasn't anything around her 22-year-old age in this lifetime, it very well could have been that was laced from previous lifetime energy that was just getting stimulated right around the time that she's 22 in this lifetime. Because when we have those activations, when we have those kind of out of the blue activations of anxiety or stress or worry, but we don't really know where it comes from, it very well could be that was laced within our karmic system or laced within our soul's energy and how we have been woven over those lifetimes. And if you really want to heal, you have to get to all of the layers. And that's what basically soul healing is all about, is getting down to the deepest layer possible so that we can heal, which does end up healing by body, or excuse me, our mind, our body, and our soul. So, it's all how this is assimilated and how it all comes together to create the whole experience of who you are. So you could have life lessons. Maybe your anxiety has come from these life lessons that are woven into who you are and how it is that you're supposed to be kind of pulling those snags out of your overall fabric of who you are so that you can grow or evolve beyond those. It could be that you have gender heritage issues. When I talk about gender heritage issues, it has a lot to do with who we were in past lifetimes, and we can incarnate as males or females. But males had a certain kind of stressors and females had a certain kind of stressors. And now it's a matter of figuring out, was gender part of how we assimilated or created those wounds as far as our anxiety and how it gets activated? And how do you heal that in this lifetime according to whatever gender you are now? So, and I know that sounds very abstract, but there are so many different layers of who we are that we have to look at things like gender heritage. Your astrological personality, there are certain astrological aspects wherever our houses are. For those of you who know what astrology is, we have 12 houses and we have signs that correspond according to our individual astrology and where they're placed within those houses. Some of those signs are basically more apt to have anxiety than others. Some of them are more apt to be super sensitive to others. So we have to kind of think about what is it that is contributing. And if your astrological personality is created in such a way that you are susceptible to anxiety, you may be experiencing it in this lifetime. So that's another possibility. If you have karmic contracts, if you have very sticky karmic contracts with other souls in your life, then those souls may initiate some anxiety responses, and you may not know where it comes from if you don't really have a whole lot of information about the whole karmic path. But it may be that you have to look back and into past lives and say, wow, what was the karma between me and that soul in another lifetime? How is that affecting me in this lifetime? Because those karmic contracts are forms of wounds, basically. Ancestral suffering. This is a concept that has been much more present for a lot of people. And that ancestral suffering has to do with how in your lineage was the energy of trauma or suffering passed down through the generations, and how did it land on you? Is there a way for us to help you identify, was some of the ancestral trauma or stress that others in your lineage experienced, how they have experienced it, is that partially what is playing on your anxiety now? Soul composition, how your soul is created, sometimes creates a sense of anxiety in human life as well. And again, that's a whole new topic. But the reason that I'm bringing a lot of this up is the whole idea that, anxiety is hard to pin down. And, most traditional treatments, whether it's treating the body, getting the biochemistry kind of balanced out, or treating the mind, meaning that you go through various forms of psychotherapy, most of them do not get to the core of what is actually happening. Most of them are based on helping you manage the symptoms much more than getting to the bottom of what actually created them in the first place. Oftentimes, it's when soul work enters the picture that you can get down to that core level, get down to the initiating response of when your anxiety was created, that helps you understand how to remove it from your kind of soul's fabric, how to remove it, how to dissolve it, how to move beyond it. And that is actually why I talk about evolution so much, is that, whatever we bring into this lifetime, a lot of times we have to identify it so that we can evolve beyond it and basically pull that karmic energy, that wounded energy out of our soul's fabric, and then not experience that form of anxiety again. So it's a process. And for those of you who understand what I'm talking about, you'll kind of see how it illuminates in your mind. For those of you who don't understand what I'm talking about, this book that's coming out hopefully will give you some new layers of how to understand it so that you can actually pull together all the pieces and parts and work with some different practitioners if you need to, or go learn about some of these things I just mentioned, because we really are complex beings. And when you think about and look at this, it can look overwhelming, but really it's a matter of starting to pinpoint which ones of these aspects or factors really are affecting you in your own path. So, excuse me, soul wounds can definitely impact our experience of anxiety. And oftentimes it's not until we get to the bottom of it that we actually feel relief. So just a little bit more about what's coming in this book, but I wanted to educate you all a little bit about what's happening under the surface and maybe what needs a little bit of attention for you to get past whatever you're experiencing in terms of anxiety. So thank you for listening. Lots more to come. This book will be out May 1st. I'm very excited to put it out to the world. And then many, many more books in the Soul of Psychology series are coming. Next one is depression. The one after that is PTSD, and then after that is grief. And then I have probably 8 more in the line that need to be brought out to the world to help you understand how the soul influences our mental health. So have a wonderful day. I'll be back soon. Take care.